take 3, back at it with another ship with me video. It's the next day from my last one, so 24 hours later. I did have a decent amount of sales in just 24 hours, decent for me. So I'm a part-time reseller. I try to do at least 20-ish hours a week, but I do have 2 littles and sometimes that doesn't happen. So it kind of goes in waves on how much time I am able to devote. However, I do list every single day, at least 5 items. I always aim for 10, but I'm always trying for at least listing 5 new items. So I had 4 Poshmark sales and 5 eBay sales in 24 hours, so 9 things total. I could add it all up and let you guys know what that is for, like what I actually made in 24 hours. Again, I'm not big time, I'm not making millions, but it is a super flexible schedule for my family, something I truly enjoy. I love thrifting. It's funny because my husband has like 1 zillion hobbies. He's a hunter, he's a fisher, he has a side-by-side 4-wheeler, he does all the things, super social guy. And then when I have my time, I choose to go thrifting. He's always like, why don't you go out to eat? Why don't you go do something with your sisters? Why don't you do this? I'm like, meh, I'm gonna go thrifting. That's what I enjoy. So pretty sad actually. But anyways, so I have, like I said, I have Poshmark and eBay orders. So let me just, I did print my labels, but I canceled out of the screen for some reason. Okay, so let's get it going. All right, first thing, if you haven't watched any of my previous videos, I previously purchased a large lot of Hannah Anderson pajamas. So I used to have a brick and mortar thrift store with my sisters. And so I initially purchased these for that purpose, to have some higher end kids brands in our store. We have since decided to close it, but we know Hannah Anderson is a good brand, and that it would resell. However, I did pay too much for these. Again, it was more so like a promotional thing for the store, knowing that people would come in for this brand. Typically, I only pick these up at the bins. And so I'm only paying like $1. With this wholesale lot that I purchased from another reseller, I paid $6 an item, which again, way too much for what this is. But they're still selling. I will still make a profit. It's just not something that I would recommend, especially if you're not a quantity reseller where people are selling like, you know, a gazillion things. They're fine with making $5 an item. But that's not my market. However, again, this was a different situation. I'm just happy that they're still selling. So this Hannah Anderson was a Star Wars collab, and it is a size 6'7" Christmas pajama. I believe I have the ones that are a collaboration listed for $25. They sent me an offer for $20, which I did accept, which is a profit for me of $16 minus the $6 I paid is only at $10. Usually I try for at least $15 or more dollars, but that's okay. Again, situational, just happy that they're selling. I have 50 probably. They're all, how do I point on this thing? They're all right there. I have not bagged them up yet. These are really cute. However, I would pick these up a million times over at the bins. Like I said, for a cost of goods of $1 into $16, those profit margins much better. And I am good with that. Excuse me, I'm a little tickled today. So I always package in a clear poly bag first, just something I have always done throughout my reselling. And then I put it into another poly mailer I double check a second time just to make sure I don't screw anything up, because I've done that lots of times. And that one's done. This one is a beautiful leather jacket. It is like a chocolate brown color. I don't think it's vintage. I wasn't familiar with the brand at all. I picked it up. It was $6.99 at a regular thrift, but this leather is like super, super nice. You can just feel how like buttery soft the leather is. It's in great condition, and it says 100% leather, gives you leather cleaning instructions. So I just knew that it was a quality piece. I think I found 3 of them at the same time, different brands, but all this like super nice leather. So this sold, it's a women's medium. In my title, I wrote the maker, so Alba Pill, I don't know what that is. Leather jacket, women's size medium, classic, sleek, and buttery soft. So this is gorgeous. It sold, my Nifty had sent out an offer for $58, which that person did accept. And what did I say, $6.99? Yeah, that's what I paid. $6.99 to $58. Again, Poshmark takes 20%. But to me, that is a good sale. This was listed, I listed these over the summer, kind of knowing that they weren't going to sell then, but just getting them listed. So they have been listed for over the 90 days, which is my typical goal. I mean, that's like everybody's reseller goal, but we know that's not the case. But I'm fine with the amount of time this took to sell. I assumed it wouldn't sell until fall. According to all the trendy folk out there, chocolate brown is like a trendy color again this year. I think it was last year as well. So, also a good color. Next up is a brand called Mizzen & Main. This is a men's brand. This is a size large. Men's, I always try to buy it like large at the smallest size up to like 3X, 4X. Those sell the best for me. So large, I got this one at the bins. Hasn't been listed too long. This is a pretty fast-selling brand for me whenever I have it. It sold for $29 on an offer. And I wrote, Mizzen & Main, it is a performance fabric, so that is important. If it was cotton, I would say cotton, blah, blah, blah. But performance always sells better, for me at least. So I wrote Mizzen & Main performance button-down shirt, size large, trim fit, long sleeve, and then I wrote work. And last up is another Hannah Anderson pajama. This is a US size 4, and it is a Grinch collaboration. So cute. Look at the contrast pockets, or not pockets, knee pads. It is absolutely adorable. When I bought that wholesale, I kept quite a few of them for my kiddos, and I bought one, or kept one similar to these for my boys. I do feel like the collaboration ones sell better, of course, and for more money. This one, because it's Grinch, which I feel is popular, I had listed for $28. I sent an offer for $25. They countered at $20, and I did accept it. I think I could have gotten more. These have only been listed for 2 days. So I do think I could have gotten more for it, but again, I have such a large quantity that I'm just trying to move them, especially because my cost of goods was high, and I'm trying to recoup my money from that. So this one is headed to Florida, and I hope they love it. Next up on eBay is a pair of Rag & Bone jeans. Rag & Bone, super expensive brand. These probably retailed in the 200s. They are a flare jean, a size 27. So I wrote Rag & Bone, flare jeans, size 27, Bella split hem. And then on the end I wrote rag and then A-N-D bone, because depending on how people are searching, yours will come up. So if they do rag and then the sign and bone, it'll come up, and if they spell out and, it will come up. So these sold on an offer for $47.94, and I think I had them listed for $59, I want to say. I did send out offers last night because, like I said in my previous video, my eBay has been a little bit slow. So I did send out 20% off offers, which I typically would accept anyways. Like if they had sent me an offer for that, I'm gonna accept it. So I sent an offer out for 20% off, and all 5 of these, I'm assuming, well, they all came from that. So I had sent the offers and then they accepted. So it definitely does help jumpstart things. And I know everyone always talks about the eBay algorithm, and I do think it's a thing. And I think having some sales and some traction in your closet makes a difference. So hopefully this will kind of kickstart some stuff for me. It was really only like 2 days of like meh sales, but I am trying to keep things moving. We have just closed that store that I was talking about at the end of October. So today's what? November 6th. So I am like, October was crazy trying to get all of that stuff out of there. I mean, we had thousands of pieces of inventory, and I am like, I have a hard time getting rid of things that I know I can make money on. So that was a little bit hard for me, I will be honest. So my office is like a disaster zone, and I have so many things to list. So especially right now, I'm like trying to get back on the ball here, trying to get my listings up, trying to move the product, trying to take pictures of all this stuff I kept from the shop. It's gonna be a lot. And trying not to go thrifting, that is the hardest part, for sure. All right, next up, Royal Robins. I do believe this is their older tag. Royal Robins. This is an activewear brand. It's sold at like REI. Why can't I think of? Sierra Trading Post, things like that. Again, it's like an outdoorsy, camping, hiking brand. So I wrote for my title, Royal Robins hiking pants, size 6, nylon, outdoor. And got it sold for $20.10. I would not pay up for this brand. This is a bins brand that I pick up. Oh, I didn't mention that for the Rag & Bone. Rag & Bone I did, oh, those were the flares. So I did pay up for those at the regular thrift. I think I paid $5.99 for those because of the flare style. So flare is in right now, wide leg, barrel leg. Those are like the trendier styles of jeans right now. If those were skinnies, would not have picked up. But because of the style, I felt it was worth it. I knew I'd get the turnaround. So 6 into, what was it? $40, $50. It was a good flip. These are bins brand, meaning I would only pick them up at the bins. They are good and they're pricey. It's just they don't resell for a lot. I mean, even Patagonia, which is like an amazing outdoor brand, I can't even sell for like what I used to. So I think people are just used to getting a deal now because there are so many resellers, and now there's Whatnot where you can get a steal of a deal on like everything. So people are just cheap. All right, BDG. Not typically a brand, you can't see it on these are like so heavy. Not typically a brand I pick up to resell online. It was a brand that I have picked up for like trendier shows on Whatnot, just because it is more of like a young person brand. It's sold at Urban Outfitters. But these were a men's, and they were the baggy skate fit, which is the reason why I picked them up from the bins. Better style, the baggy fit is in. Holy, 2 pounds. So I paid $5 for them at the bins, and they sold for $25.16. Yeah, not gonna fit in that bag. If these were a women's jean and they were like a baggy skate fit or something, I probably still would pick them up at the bins. I would not pay up at a regular store for BDG. Just not a brand that moves fast enough for me. Again, they probably retail for, I don't even know, $78 to $90. So they're getting a deal. They also paid $9 in shipping. So I think that's something that you really have to consider when you're pricing your items, is like, this is a 2-pound item. They paid $9 in shipping. So total, they're in like $35. And new, they're $75. So they're getting half off of retail, but they are used. They're not new with tags. So something to definitely consider when you're pricing your items. Of course, I want to make money, but you also need to make it a good enough deal for your buyer. This is a linen dress. This brand, I have no idea anything about it. It just said made in Italy. It's a size large and it was 100% linen. I put the name, the maker, linen, cotton. Oh, so it isn't even 100% linen. It must be a linen cotton blend. Dress, size large, midi length, made in Italy. A lot of the made in Italy items, I don't know their brands, but they are 99% of the time a good fabric. And then I think it's just something that people are searching out. Like, things made there are just tenfold better than anything made in China. No offense, China, but I actually have nothing to back that up at all. That is just what my brain thinks. So I have never had an issue moving anything that says made in Italy on it. But if it didn't have a good material content, I would not have picked it up. Oh, I didn't even tell you what I sold it for. $31.46. This is a bins pickup as well. So I have $1.59 into it. Oh yeah, I did get an eBay return in the last 24 hours as well. Just part of the eBay game. It was a Cool hoodie, K-U-H-L, Cool. It's another outdoor activewear hiking brand. Great seller for me. So they are returning it for fit. It is a women's piece. Of course, it was within my return window, so of course eBay automatically accepts it. I will just relist it when I get it back and it'll sell again. It's a sweater, like a heavier weight sweater. We're in the right season for it. I'm not going to let it bother me. And last up, this is a good activewear brand, R-A-B, Rab. This, when it has like UK or EU sizing, European sizing. I always, not always, if it feels nice, if it looks nice, it's something that I tend to like look into a little bit more. I didn't know this brand when I initially picked it up. I have since picked up one other jacket that I haven't listed yet, but when I picked it up, I didn't know what the brand was, is my point. So I looked it up, and they do have good sold comps. So it is a good brand. And then on the material tag, the fill is down. So any down jackets are worth an extra look. This is a women's size US small. And it sold for $40 on eBay. It's going to Portland, Oregon, which is like the place to be for outdoor. So I'm gonna have to, this is just being transparent here. I tried to zipper this down to take the hanger off, and it seems like it's a little bit, it works, but it's a little bit snug. So I am going to try, you can use all sorts of different things. Maybe if I have time, I'll put a little something here that tells you what you can use. I'll have to like Google it, but there are quite a few different things that you can use. Of course, like a WD-40, like any sort of, I'm trying to think what it's called. I don't know. I can't remember now. So I'll have to put a little something on here. I am going to try to treat that first because I don't want to send it and then them say like, hey, the zipper's sticky. I want to return it. Item not as described. Boom. That's a hit against me. So had I noticed that ahead of time, I must have initially put the hanger up through here and not unzipped it. So, and I did disclose the flaws, which is another reason I didn't get as much for it. There's a pull here and then some fraying here. So they sent me an offer for 40 bucks. Some of the sold comps are like in the hundreds. So they're getting a deal, but I need to make sure that it's like a functional deal. Otherwise, if I can't get it better, I will cancel the sale, which really puts a downer on my account and hurts your like, what's it called? Your status. Like if I'm a top rated seller, it will not get me off of being a top rated seller, but it will put a hit against me. And if I have multiple of those hits, then they will drop me down from being a top rated seller. I believe that they cycle through that and like evaluate you monthly on whether or not like you're meeting the eBay standards to be a top rated seller. So I just have to make sure that everything is good. But to me, it is worth it to cancel the sale than have it returned as an item not as described. My opinion, again, nothing to really back that up, just something that I think. So, all right, so I'm gonna work on that, and then I'm going to package it and ship it. And those are all my orders. So a decent 24 hours. I mean, let's be real. I think that's a great 24 hours. For me, there's other people who sell like 50 items in a day, which is insane. But for me, that's a solid 24 hours. Nothing crazy high priced, but that's okay. So that's it here. And I'll see you on the next one.